So significant figures. If we imagine you are given something to resolve and teacher says that afterwards express it in significant figures, and you are asking yourself in how many significant figures. Fortunately, your teacher expects you to know in how many. So let's look at this. One rule you have to know is non-zero digits are always significant. Now, if we are given this 77 times 41 and we resolve it, we get this. But this is not if you are to write this in significant figure, this is not the answer. The thing you have to look at is, we look at 77. 77 has two significant figures, and then 41 is in the same, it has two significant figures, so this should be in two significant figures. So the thing you have to do is, when you have we have no decimal but we have a whole number, is to look at the third number here. When we look at it, because we want to express this in two significant figures, we go to the third one. If it is 5 or greater, we round up. If it's less, we round down. Here in our case, we round up because it's 5. So we have 3, 2, 0, 0. You might say, hang on, but what about the 2 zeros? Well, there's a rule which I'll talk about later, but I can say it now, that zeros after whole numbers are not considered significant. It's only decimals. If you are in the decimal, then you will consider the zeros, but we'll be looking at zeros generally later. But let's do other examples now. Now the next one question I want to look at, we have now 77 divided by 41. In the same way, since the numbers that we are dealing with both have the same significant figures, we have two significant figures, so this must be written in two significant figures. So we come and look at the third one here, because 1, 2, 3, 7 is greater than 5, and so we round up, so this will give us 1.9. Here we don't need to write the zeros, because if you write the zeros, it will be counted as significant figures. So this, we just need this two. We'll see later. Now let's look at another question so we understand further. We have this, because this, I had both two significant figures, so I want to look at when we have different significant figures for each number and we are dealing with it. So this has 4 significant figures, this number here, and this has 2 significant figures. So if I do the division, I get this. Now I want the rule is you express your result in the significant figures of the smallest significant figure that you are dealing with. So we have here, we have 4 and then we have 2, so we have to express this in 2 significant figures. So if we express this in 2 significant figures, what we get is, we look here, if we look here, this is 2, so 2 is lesser than 5, so we run down, so we end up with 3, 5, 0. The rest we don't bother ourselves with. So this is what we have. Now let's look at another example. Another example is this. So we do this multiplication, this as well. We have 3 significant figures here, we have 2 here, so we have to express our result in 2 significant figures. So to express it in 2 significant figures, we look at this, and then we know this is less, so we round down, so we end up with 1, 7, and the rest are 0. Okay, now we are going to look at special cases where we are dealing with, let me clean here, so we'll be looking at special cases where we have zeros. We look at the zeros because zeros have some exceptions there. Here we go. Now we have zeros between two significant figures are significant. So if we have this is significant. So in this number, you say this number has four significant figures, but this zero here is going to be, so remember, zeros or a zero between two significant figures. We said that non-zero numbers are significant, so these are significant. So this makes this zero significant. Another rule when we are thinking of zeros is that when we have a number which is not decimal, a whole number, then these zeros here are not significant. So this number here, it has one significant figure. The significant number is 1. So the rule is trailing zeros in the whole number with no decimal are not significant. Now let's look at another one. Look here, the zeros are significant. Why? Because we are dealing with there's a decimal point here, so this has 4 significant numbers, those 4 significant figures. Now let's look at this. If you look at this, one thing you have to remember is leading zeros are not significant in decimals, but not in are generally not in decimals and in whole numbers. Sorry, so leading zeros are not significant. So these zeros are not significant. That's why I have 4 significant figures here. Now the last thing I want to talk about is exact numbers have an infinite number of significant figures. For example, 2, you can also write it as 2.0, 2.00, 2.000, because immediately the point is that the zeros are counted. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.